So we're back on the topic of Jeriko de Reponet and each way hope for many in the Supreme Novices Hurdle. This man says, Kev said Jeriko de Reponet has beat nothing. All I'm saying is his form is rock solid. If Ballyburn runs in 2 mile 4 race, Jeriko has a great chance. In terms of whether Ballyburn runs in the Supreme or not, I'm going to stick to what I'm saying in that Jeriko de Reponet has got very little chance of winning the Supreme. I just can't see it happening. And you're saying his form is rock solid, but it's just not. Lump Sum won nicely the other day, but what did he beat really? He beat a 125, 130 horse, no more than that. He ran to a Racing Post rating of 133, which is just about matching the best that Jeriko de Reponet has done. Now, fair play to him. He's a very smart horse and he can improve. Don't get me wrong, but and he did a good speed figure as well. But even to get into the frame in a Supreme, you need to be routinely running up past the 140 mark, and Lump Sum is still half a stone away from that. And you could argue that at Doncaster, Lump Sum was given so much to do, and I backed him. I backed Lump Sum at Doncaster. He was a mainline selection, and he was given so much work to do by Tom Cannon, who just held him up miles out the back, and then he stormed home late. It was on good ground. The ground was probably a little bit tacky that day as well. It's my feeling that under different circumstances, maybe if Sam Twiston-Davis was riding Lump Sum, that he would have beat Jeriko de Reponet that day. He only finished a length behind him, considering everything went wrong for him at Doncaster. So with that in mind, I don't think Jeriko de Reponet has actually got that much in hand of Lump Sum at all. I actually think they're probably of quite similar ability. If anything, Lump Sum maybe has just improved past Jeriko de Reponet slightly, and if they were to meet again at Doncaster the same way they did on the 27th of January, I'd probably back Lump Sum to beat Jeriko de Reponet. So under what circumstances does that mean that Jeriko de Reponet has got a big chance in the Supreme? I just can't see it. Another argument that people come up with is that this strong pace is going to suddenly bring Jeriko de Reponet up to the level required. And improve him dramatically. Well, there's a couple of problems with that, really. If a strong pace was so important to Jeriko de Reponet showing his best form, then why didn't he go out and make his own pace in the races that he's ran at before? There would have been nothing wrong with Nico de Binefield or whoever the hell's been riding him. Mark Walsh rode him as well. If he needs to go faster, push the button. Let him go faster. Let's see him go faster. Let's prove the point before it needs to be proved at Cheltenham on the biggest stage of all. So I'm not buying that argument at all. And the other, this assumption that a strong pace is suddenly going to bring him on a ton. What about the other horses? Is a strong pace not going to suit any other horse and improve them as well? Is it only Jeriko de Reponet that it's going to improve? So no, look, I hear what you're saying. There's nothing wrong with his form. There's both solid animals, Lump Sum and Jeriko de Reponet. I actually don't think there's that much between them at all. But both of them are still, at best, £7 off hitting the frame in the Supreme. At worst, they need to find a stone or more to get into the top two, and I'm being generous. But look, we'll see what happens. It's only horse racing. I'm frequently incorrect, and I could be incorrect here. But at the end of the day, I'm led by performance figures and what I see. And while this all represents pretty smart form, they're all nice young horses. They're winning their races. They're consistent. They're hitting the frame. They're finishing first, finishing second, whatever it may be. All in good races. They still have to improve to get up to championship level at Cheltenham, and that's just the reality of it.